We've been standing in the frozen food aisle for half an hour. I need something frozen.
What happens when your favorite frozen food disappears from grocery stores? Well, once it's gone, there's a good chance that it's gone for good. So say goodbye to pizza, pasta, icy treats, and more with 10 frozen foods that completely disappeared from grocery store shelves, Part 2.
It's gone! It's all gone forever!
Funky fries.
This is funky fresh.
A long-standing knock against frozen foods is that they can be a little boring or even bland. We all know the disappointment of a floppy fish stick, too dry tater tot, or freezer-burnt French fries. So when funky fries rolled around, you could rest assured that at least they wouldn't disappoint you visually. In the summer of 2000, Heinz ketchup got creative with a Shrek movie tie-in and introduced its first non-red ketchup in over a century that was tinted to match the movie character's green color. When the colored ketchup idea took off, it only made sense to try it on another Heinz product that is quite often dipped in that same ketchup, frozen French fries.
They're fried, they're frozen.
Enter Funky Fries, manufactured by Heinz Ore-Ida Potato Division and released into the wild in 2002. The line's standout product was cool blue crinkle-cut fries that had an infusion of blue food coloring to match the name. Funky Fries also featured dark brown Cocoa Crispers dessert fries, powder-dusted Cinnasticks, and O-shaped crunchy rings. The wacky ideas were designed to appeal to kids, but the novelty of Funky Fries wore off as fast as the fun of multicolored ketchup did, and both were off the market before the end of the decade.
We failed.
Themed Kid Cuisine.
We're not doing this for us. We're doing this for the kids.
The 1990 debut of the Kid Cuisine brand was touted as a frozen version of a McDonald's Happy Meal, marketing traditional microwave frozen dinners to the crowd that would prefer an after-school snack. The meals themselves attempted tried and tested kid favorites like spaghetti, fish sticks, popcorn chicken, and mini microwave corn dogs. But they needed something more to convince the kids that this cuisine was indeed fun. So the company rolled out a reasonably popular theme line called Deep Sea Adventure for a few years, adding underwater shapes and treasure hunt box puzzles to the frozen fun.
Looks like fun.
Those were eventually discontinued and dumped into the deep, though, in favor of the brand's biggest hit. Kid Cuisine is still around today, but its peak popularity came at a cross-promotion with Nickelodeon to create the SpongeBob SquarePants Friends Forever mac and cheese version. The team-up was a big enough hit that they also produced a limited edition Chicken Nuggets Kid Cuisine, which included nuggets molded in the form of SpongeBob and Patrick. Successful as it was, the cross-promotion deal eventually expired, and SpongeBob Kid Cuisine left the freezer section to float back down to Bikini Bottom.
Next stop, Bikini Bottom!
Friendly's Wattamelon Rolls.
This is the juiciest watermelon I ever tasted.
New England autumns might fit best on a postcard, but this regional summer treat always fits best in the freezer. The Friendly's restaurant/ice cream chain is a staple in the Northeast, first founded in Springfield, Massachusetts in 1935. It turns out Friendly's ice cream was a mood booster in those days of the Great Depression, and nearly a century later, that's still true. Today, the Friendly's chain has expanded to nearly 120 locations in over 100 cities spread across 11 states. The New England roots of Friendly's are so prevalent that the Boston accent even comes through in the pronunciation and spelling of watermelon rolls.
And above all, I'm from Boston.
This signature treat was a watermelon and lemon-flavored sherbet dessert shaped like watermelon slices and complete with chocolate chips disguised as the seeds. Nothing quite compares to the feeling of the first bite of fresh, juicy watermelon on a hot summer's day, but these might have if they weren't discontinued. Wattamelon rolls were available in grocery store freezers in a box of 11 rolls, but were announced as officially discontinued due to low demand in 2021. It seems like folks in the region will have to go back to the real deal, even if it means dealing with those pesky non-chocolate watermelon seeds.
We shouldn't complain.
First time here? Well, become an official BabbleTopper by taking a quick second to hit that subscribe button. Now, back to the freezer. Mounds Ice Cream Bar.
Who wants ice cream?
If there's one golden rule in the world of snacks and treats, it's that two great tastes will taste great together. So it's not a stretch of the imagination to understand how someone somewhere first added bits of their candy bar to their bowl of ice cream to create some fantastic frozen history. Over the years, almost every possible combo of ice cream and candy bars has been put out to the public, and even non-bar candies like Skittles have gotten into the handheld ice cream game. It might be fair to add, though, that some combos worked better than others, otherwise none of them would be discontinued.
Fair enough.
The Mounds Bar was first invented in 1920, and the dark chocolate coconut combination seemed like a no-brainer partner for ice cream when Hershey's pulled the trigger on the duo nearly a century later in 2012. Joining other Hershey flavor mainstays like Reese's and Heath in the ice cream crossover compartment, the Mounds Ice Cream Bar was manufactured and distributed by Good Humor, but eventually became no laughing matter. Available in boxes of 6 that retailed for just under $5 a box, the combo just didn't click and was eventually pulled from the stores after just a few years.
Your time is up!
Yeah, your time is up.
Kirkland frozen turkey burgers.
Is that a fried turkey leg inside a grilled hamburger?
Turkey isn't just a good centerpiece at Thanksgiving and Christmas, as this holiday hit comes in all shapes and sizes and can be enjoyed year-round. Despite the stereotypes of steaks and hamburgers, Americans love the gobble-gobble goodness of turkey, too. In 2021, the nation consumed more than 5 billion pounds of turkey from coast to coast, which works out to about 15 pounds per person. But if dining on drumsticks isn't your thing, turkey also comes in other delicious forms, as long as those options are still around.
Actually, yeah, they are.
One of the greats was Costco's Kirkland brand frozen turkey burgers, which were sold in 4-pound bags of a dozen patties and were a convenient change for anybody wanting a break from plain old beef burgers. In the wake of the discontinuation, a Change.org petition started in January 2018 called for the return of Kirkland turkey burgers, but the originator looked like a turkey themselves after the petition closed with only 124 signatures.
Great, just what I need on my conscience. Another failed business.
Kirkland frozen 4-cheese ravioli.
Where's the ravioli burger? It's in your head where it belongs.
Turkey burgers aren't the only Costco product to get the axe since the Mega Market debuted in 1973, and plenty of products get discontinued even to this day. And Costco means business when they do so, with product discontinuations being considered permanent once the plug is pulled. Over 30 items were discontinued between January and April alone in 2023, despite the fact the Kirkland signature brand remains popular overall and made over $50 billion for the company in the year prior. And yet again, it's the fans of frozen foods that have had to suffer.
Life is suffering.
Kirkland's 4-cheese ravioli bid an Italian arrivederci to the frozen food aisles of Costco in the early 2010s and hasn't been back since. The 4-pound bags contained enough frozen pasta to make Garfield think twice about lasagna and was a blend of ricotta, Parmesan, Asiago, and Grana Padano cheeses. With 100% Durham semolina wheat flour, the quality-to-quantity ratio was unbeatable, and we're 100% sure Costco should make an exception to resurrect this ravishing ravioli.
Yeah, okay, we'll consider it.
Libbyland frozen dinners.
Oh, now that's a frozen TV dinner.
The microwave was a game changer when it came to frozen dinners, but in the pre-radiation cooking era, there was a frozen meal directed at kids and tots that tried to make food fun in a fictitious land. The 1970s might be best known for bell-bottom pants and disco, but for kids of the day, Libbyland frozen dinners might have topped the charts. Sold from 1971 to 1976, these compartmentalized frozen dinners had foldable inserts that created interactive pop-up Libbyland landscapes that overlooked the serving tray. Each dinner had a theme and corresponding artwork and included the animal-themed Safari Supper, Wild West-themed Sundown Supper, Undersea-themed Sea Divers Dinner, and the swashbuckling Pirates Picnic.
Pirates are still cool. What's there to discuss?
Libbyland seemed like it was inspired by the popular McDonald's McDonaldland kids advertising being run by the Golden Arches at the time, which predated the 1979 introduction of the Happy Meal. The dinners also snatched an idea from kid-centric Nesquik and included packets of Milk Magic powder that added a little flavor fun to each kid's glass of milk. Despite a unique idea, the concept didn't stick around, and Libbyland disappeared out of store freezers and off the map.
Bye-bye!
Trader Joe's Arugula Pizza.
You overpay for your arugula every time, Uma.
Want to make a trade? The popular Trader Joe's grocery chain has been wheeling and dealing in gourmet, organic, and vegetarian delights since opening its first location in 1967. Over the decades, the chain has developed a habit of discontinuing an exhaustive list of items. Some of the more outrageous faves to be discontinued include cocoa and sea salt instant oatmeal, cioppino seafood stew, chocolate hummus, salmon and vegetable croquettes, arrabbiata sauce, and even the ever-popular Asian-style spicy peanut vinaigrette.
I love spicy food.
But one of the biggest outcries came from the depths of the frozen food section when Trader Joe's frozen arugula pizza was cut from the lineup in the early months of 2022. Later that year, Trader Joe's vice president of marketing responded to the backlash and stated on the official company podcast that the #1 reason for item discontinuations is purely a lack of sales. In the end, we get the fan base's anger over discontinued items, but apparently not enough of those customers were buying things like arugula pizza in the first place.
Could have guessed that, yeah.
Mickey's Parade Ice Pops.
12,000 ice pops disappeared.
With its 2023 centennial anniversary just passing, the wonderful world of Disney as a brand might be too big to ever get discontinued. But we can't say the same for each piece of merchandise the Empire has cranked out over that century, and that includes the frozen kind. While ice cream bars shaped like Mickey Mouse have existed in various forms at Disney parks as long as those parks have been around, the retail version added all the rest of the animated gang. In the 1980s, Good Humor was contracted out to slap some trademark Disney magic on a few cool treats that eventually became the Mickey's Parade lineup of frozen desserts.
Just in time for Mickey's Sensational Parade.
Including Mickey Mouse ice cream bars modeled after the Disneyland originals, Paradise Pops and Sprinkle Cones rounded out the lineup. But the Ice Pops were the biggest hit. Popsicles molded after Mickey, Minnie, Donald Duck, and Goofy came in 3 flavors of cherry, orange, and grape, despite the fact there were 4 characters involved, which meant both Goofy and Minnie shared the orange honors. In a rare occurrence for the brand, the usually invincible Disney timeliness eventually wore off, and the parade was permanently parked in the early 2000s.
Forever.
Before we get to the top spot of our frozen foray, give this video a quick like as we've got one discontinued item that didn't make the official list due to a technicality. This discontinued treat was exclusive to the United Kingdom and most Americans would never have seen it, but we had to give it an honorable mention based on the weirdness factor alone. The neat thing about frozen foods is the many compartments and shapes they can be molded into, but of all the outside-the-box choices, this one was crazy enough to be outside the shoe.
Hells yeah, let's break some rules.
Putting their best foot forward, Funny Feet Ice Cream was a strawberry-flavored ice cream on a stick molded in the shape of a shoe and was somehow a big hit in 1980s England. Despite the shoesicle's eventual demise, a 2013 online poll by the original manufacturer saw Funny Feet voted the company's most missed discontinued delight, with more than 6,500 votes. So the treats were briefly revived for another fleet-footed jog through the freezer aisle before disappearing one more time.
At long last.
Ben & Jerry's Flavor Graveyard.
Your Ben & Jerry's flavor is called Adulteraisin.
Throughout all the discontinuations, deaths, and disappearances we've seen come from the freezer aisle, there's one particular brand and its world-famous ice cream that has seen more freezing cold cancellations than the rest. When lifelong besties Ben Cohen and Jerry Greenfield founded the Ben & Jerry's Ice Cream Parlor in 1978, they certainly envisioned a cornucopia of flavors, alongside an equal amount of punny and sometimes head-scratching names. And from its Vermont roots, the shop blossomed into a global ice cream empire with more than 600 worldwide scoop shop locations and pints readily available for retail purchase in both grocery and convenience store freezers.
Everywhere.
Not all of the tastes in those pints have stuck around over the decades, however. Ben & Jerry's itself will be the first to admit as much, with a full selection of their website dedicated to the flavor graveyard and listing all the dormant deliciousness that isn't in production any longer. The list includes no less than 35 discontinued flavors from the company's 45 years in the business. That means they've discontinued only 10 fewer flavors than the total number of years Ben & Jerry's has even been in existence. But hey, as long as they dish out more than they discontinue, we won't fault out Ben & Jerry's for a few frozen failures.
Okay, I'm out. I'm out.
Searching for another great video? Just tap or click and smash that subscribe button and ring that notification bell.